morning. Welcome to the general convocation, the ACT conference, the Achieving Change Together conference. The ACT conference is the district's in-service day that aligns with our proficiency commitment of 90% proficiency in 4 years in ELA and math. Each workshop today will provide learning, professional development in district-wide focus areas, effective instruction, active reading and writing, and positive relationship. Hope all of you will have a productive day of learning and sharing. I want to thank the EDI team for their work, Dr. Haywood, and especially Donna Williams for their efforts in organizing this A.C.T conference. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Renee Haywood, Assistant Superintendent for EDI. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I hope everyone's landed in their workshop. If you haven't, wherever you are is the right place, so don't worry about it. I just wanted to welcome all of you for Brockton Public Schools. This is going to be a really great day. We're so excited about this year's conference. You're in for a real treat today. This is a big production. I don't know if you know that, and it required a well-oiled machine to make it happen. In previous years, my office has worked along with the IT department, doing several walkthroughs of this building to identify classrooms to put in work orders and repairs and organizing people into various workshops. This year, we had some of the confidentials and administrative assistants, as well as our community partners help and join the subcommittees to organize the workshops, set up the buildings with signage and all the resources that are needed. And we also have all of these restaurants that are coming, and you're going to enjoy such a great lunch. We've been working diligently, and now the day has come. We took your feedback from last year and added more workshop facilitators to make the class sizes smaller to enhance the meaningful conversations you'll have. We also heard your call for more restaurants to facilitate the lunchtime. We had 7 restaurants last year. This year we have about 8, as well as 8 food trucks. So if you would take a minute now, please locate this flyer. There's a QR code that will give you all the information about the restaurants, their locations, their menus. You should find this on the whiteboard that is in your classroom. If you don't have a whiteboard, it's next to where your presenter will be standing. So it is in there. Please locate that. The food trucks will all be outside of the azure and green entrances, while all of the restaurants will be in each of the cafeterias. We didn't get much interest in transportation, so that was one of the concerns. But we're so glad that you all landed in the place you needed to be. This is a special day, and I want to thank our school committee, our acting superintendent, Dr. Cobbs, our deputy, Sharon Walder, cabinet members, and all of those who have supported the EDI office and vision. I want to thank my team, Cam Jackson, my confidential assistant, for all the hard work in so many areas, Dr. Presame Calix, for her work with the community and restaurant owners to provide you with a little taste of Brockton today. And finally, I'd like to commend our conference chair, Darnell Thigpen-Williams, for taking a vision and making it a reality. Before I bring him up, I'd like us to take a moment for us to listen to the land acknowledgements that he developed so that we can all center ourselves with humility as we reflect on the sacredness of the land on which we stand. The first land acknowledgement is for American nations and Indigenous people. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the ancestral lands of many bands of Indigenous people who cultivated this land and made it their home before it was forcibly taken and colonized by European settlers. We recognize the history of forced relocation by the United States government of many first American nations from their tribal homelands to our region in the late 18th century and throughout the 19th century. The Indigenous people's connection to this land has been challenged by violence, disease, treaty, invading settlers, relocations, forced removals, reservation termination policies, and other colonial actions. However, through this turbulent history, this land has continued to hold great historical, spiritual, and personal significance for the original land stewards of this region. With humility and respect, we commit ourselves to being fully present and seek to dismantle ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and oppression in our pursuit of democracy, freedom, and justice. The next acknowledgement is for American descendants of slavery. We acknowledge the legacy of slavery in our region and the enslaved African people whose labor was exploited for generations to help establish the economy of our region and the United States, specifically the production and harvest of surplus crops and land cultivation. During the transatlantic slave trade, an estimated 12.5 million enslaved Africans were forcibly brought to the Americas, beginning in the 1950s until 1867. Countless millions of Black people suffered in bondage in the United States until the ratification of the 13th Amendment in 1865, which abolished slavery and indentured servitude. The end of slavery was followed by a series of discriminatory and repressive laws that created a racial caste system that legitimized anti-Black racism. The gruesome legacy of slavery, coupled with enduring racist laws and practices, continue to impact American culture and our institutions at every level. The labor of the enslaved Africans built many of the civic and federal institutions with which we all interact and benefit from today. The economics of the transatlantic slave trade and the exportation of cotton allowed the United States to position itself as a leader in global trade for centuries. Our nation continues to profit financially from the exploitation of the descendants of enslaved Africans. We also acknowledge the harm that colonialism and white supremacy have brought to these lands, in particular the erasure of both first American nations and African identities via racist laws and segregated all peoples and produced savage social economic inequities. By recognizing the land that was taken from indigenous people and the forced labor that was provided by enslaved Africans, we understand that the foundation of our country and the roots that it created are grounded in white dominant culture and patriarchal systems of oppression, racism, classism, sexism, and heterosexism. Through this acknowledgement, we commit ourselves to dismantle all forms of racial oppression and anti-Black racism in our pursuit of democracy, freedom, and justice, and I'll add, for all. I ask that you keep an open mind today. We might be in some uncomfortable positions, but isn't that what learning is about? There's always a little bit of pain with growing, and so we're open to that. I hope you are too. Sit back and enjoy the day and have a great time. Now I want to introduce to you our conference chair, Darnell Thigpen Williams.
Good morning. I am honored to be here this morning with Acting Superintendent Dr. Cobbs, Deputy Superintendent Sharon Walder, Assistant Superintendent of EDI, Dr. Haywood, and all 23 of our student ambassadors this year. Last year, we started with only 9 student ambassadors. This year, we expanded to 23, and our student ambassadors are representing Brockton High School and Promise Academy. So together, we all welcome each of you to Brockton Public Schools' 3rd annual Achieving Change Together ACT Conference. You can clap at this point. The ACT Conference was established 3 years ago to support the professional growth and development needs of BPS employees by centering EDI design principles throughout our collective work with this district. So a focus on student proficiency is a focus on equity. Ensuring that we have the right educational and operational workforce to do the critical work in this district is about the work of diversity. Adults working together to create educational structures that promote the belief that all students belong and matter is the work of inclusion, EDI. Our conference theme this year is Cultivating Educational Excellence. That theme could not be more timely. Our classrooms must provide high-quality instruction and equitable educational access for all students. Our goal for today is that each of you will see yourselves as critical agents in advancing the vital work of this district. Whether you are in the classroom or in office, you are integral to the district's proficiency commitment. We are nearly 3,000 people strong in this district, and we are here today on a shared learning journey to promote educational equity and excellence. We are here from the district representing various roles. We are classroom teachers, MTAs and paraprofessionals, health and PE teachers, instructional coaches, educational and instructional leaders, school adjustment and guidance counselors, administrative assistants, and support staff, nurses, IT staff, and facilities staff. That's who's represented here today. Today we have 73 workshops and over 100 workshop facilitators, a third of whom are employees of this district. 2 of our workshops include students as co-facilitators. All of the presenters and facilitators are invested in your professional learning today. This year, we have worked hard to accommodate your workshop choices as best as possible. We recognize that some of you may be in workshops you did not choose, even with all of our efforts to accommodate you. We ask that you make the best of the situation today. We expect everyone to maintain a positive, flexible, and growth mindset attitude. Your workshop facilitator has invested tremendous time and effort in creating a professional learning experience connected to our focus areas and the proficiency commitment. And also, for adults, we are models of our students who are here today. So while our students are here today to be learners, but they also here to facilitate a learning process for all of us. So we want to model for our students what it means to be a lifelong learner. This afternoon, you will hear from our student ambassadors at the town hall meeting that they plan and that they design and that they will be facilitating. Stay tuned for the town hall meeting, which starts at 1 o'clock prompt right here. Thank you for your commitment to education in this district. And on behalf of our EDI team, I wish you a pleasant and productive conference experience. Thank you.
Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give me, I'm worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give me, I'm worth it. Just give me you, just give me you. Just give me you. That's all I wanna do. And if what they say is true, if it's true, I'ma give it to you. I may take a lot of stuff, guaranteed I can back it up. I think I'ma call you bluff. Hurry up, I'm waiting out front. You see me in the spotlight, ooh, I love your style. Show me what you got, cause I don't wanna waste my time. See me in the spotlight, ooh, I love your style. Show me what you got now, come and make it worth my while. Give it to me, I'm worth it. on you, it's all on you. So what you wanna do? And if you don't have a clue, not a clue, I'll tell you what to do. Come harder just because I don't like it too soft. Not too much, but maybe just enough. Not too much, but maybe just enough. You see me in the spotlight, ooh, I love your style. Show me what you got, cause I don't wanna waste my time. See me in the spotlight, ooh, I love your style. Show me what you got now, come on, make it worth my while. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give me, I'm worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Know what I mean? Baby, I'm worth it. Give me everything. I'm worth it. Give me, I'm worth it. You see me in the spotlight, ooh, I love your style. Show me what you got, cause I don't wanna waste my time.
Good afternoon and welcome to our town hall meeting at the A.C.T conference. My name is Kamori Hill and I am a freshman at Promise College and Career Academy, a small school in Brockton Public Schools. I became a student ambassador because I want to develop my public speaking skills and grow as a student leader in this district. Today at the town hall meeting, I have the great pleasure of introducing our amazing student monitors. Please join me in welcoming Mateo Rasher and Elizabeth Scott.
Hello, my name is Matt,
My name is Elizabeth.
and welcome to the third annual A.C.T conference.
Just to get us started, we'd like to thank you all for the opportunity just to come out and be here. And I want you guys to know that this is not wasted time. We really thank you for this opportunity that you guys take to come out and listen to us.
This year's theme is Positive Relationships, the cornerstone of academic and social emotional development. Students are going to have something to say about how BPS creates a positive, supportive, and inclusive learning environment where students feel connected and empowered. The goal today is to have an open and honest conversation with the hope that everybody will leave this conversation with something to think about.
As student ambassadors, we are a select few of students who represent the students in the Brockton Public Schools district. As student ambassadors, we want to create a more welcoming environment, inclusive environment in the BPS school district. And before we get started, we're going to introduce the rest of our student ambassadors. And we're going to go ahead and introduce our announcer, which was Kamori Hill.
Next, we have our stage crew, which starts with Trinity Starks.
Next, we're welcoming Oscar Hensmadeus,
Sophia Denise,
and for our panelists, we're going to welcome Amari Jean-Baptiste, Good morning, all, and welcome to our Student Ambassadors host show. And this is our third annual ACT conference. And to get us started, we're going to ask our first prompt question is, who are you and what should BPS know about you as a learner? And that includes like our pronouns, our identities, ethnicity, or even race. And we're going to go all around the table, and we're going to start with Kamori.
Hello, my name is Kamori Hill. I am a sophomore at Promise Academy. I have grown in the BPS system. I attended Downey Elementary School, and for middle school, I attended Ashfield. And now I have already said, I now attend Promise Academy. Out of all my experiences, Promise has been the best in my opinion. My classes have challenged me to think and to bring me out of my shell because, in my opinion, and everyone can say this, I am a very shy and soft-spoken person. Thank you.
My name is Elizabeth Scott. I am a senior here at Brockton High School. One thing that you should know about me as a learner is that I'm a very passionate learner. I love learning new things. And another thing that you should know about me is that I am actively involved in fine arts, which includes the music program. And I really enjoy the opportunities we have here at BHS.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Rasher. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a senior here at Brockton High School. I'm a queer student. I'm in the special education program, and I'm a part of the Brockton High Harmonics, which is our show choir program. As a learner, I've always learned through engagement and conversation, and I hope that we can continue that through this conversation here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amari Jean-Baptiste, and I'm a senior here at Brockton High. I've been in Brockton Public Schools since I was in kindergarten. The schools I have been to are Huntington Elementary, South Middle School, and now Brockton High. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eliana Marant. I'm a senior at Brockton High School. I go by pronouns she, her. I've attended middle school in East, and now I come to Brockton High. Something you should know about me as a learner is that I am I'm a visual learner, and I love working in groups where everybody's engaged. Also, I'm a peer mediator, and I'm part of the drama club, and I love taking art classes.
Good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure being here today at this conference. My name is Shanti Rivera. My pronouns are she, they. I'm currently a senior at Brockton High School. Brockton High School is the first school that I have attended in all Massachusetts. In my sophomore year, I was transferred here from Miami, Florida. This is my first year taking part of the EDI Student Ambassador Program. I'm also involved in other things such as peer mediation, drama club, etc. Since little, I have always learned, like Eliana said, by visualizing and by groups with people who are also engaged and working together. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chloe. I'm currently a junior at BHS. I've been part of the Brockton district since kindergarten K to 12, from Brookfield to Downey to Ashfield in middle school, and currently Brockton BHS at high school level. Currently, I'm pretty much obsessed with the whole arts program. Right now, I'm currently working on self-portrait and learning more about like the different skills you use, which brings us over to what I am as a learner, is that being in a peaceful environment and not being like a very distracted environment, because it could really pull my attention away from the current atmosphere I'm in and either make me nervous or pretty much anxious when it comes to learning. So yeah, thank you very much.
I am Marcos Gomes. I use he, him pronouns, and this is my second year as an ambassador. Something you all should know about me as a learner is that I'm a visual learner and I work very well in groups. But I feel like if I'm in a distractive environment, I can get distracted very easily. Or if I have things around me that can distract me, I will get distracted by them.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Caitlin Chavez, and I'm currently a senior at Brockton High School. I've been in the BPS system for K-12 with schools including Brookfield and Downey Elementary to Ashfield Middle School to now here in Brockton High School. I'm involved mostly within the fine arts, just like with Elizabeth, but mostly in the choral programs, drama club, and marching band, of course. What I think how I am a type of learner, I can translate this from Eliana, Shanti, and also Marcos. I'm a visual learner as well, and I really like to engage in conversations within the classroom environment. I like to say thank you.
The next question we're going to ask our panelists is, what are 3 things you really like about BPS? What is BPS doing well for its students? And we're going to start by asking Chloe this question.
Thank you. I can bring in 2 things instead of 3 that I really like about being in the Brockton district right now. Finding a guidance and being validation, because currently in elementary, back in elementary, I pretty much was a very open kid since I was mostly near my friends a lot. I can pretty much talk to them and tell them how I feel, but as the years went by, I realized I was drifting far, far away from my current friends, my current likings, and pretty much I have trouble expressing my emotions because I was afraid, in my eyes, I was afraid of disrupting them and that I wasn't really worth their time anymore. But finding a trusted adult, mostly guidance counselor, especially during middle school and currently in high school right now, it pretty much gives me the validation and my voice as a reasoning to showcase my voice in more ways than just saying, yeah, I'm fine, or, oh, I'm okay, or I'll just snap out of it. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Chloe. And we're going to ask the same question to Marcos.
One thing I really feel like BPS is doing good for the students is the diversity in the schools. I feel like every school in the Brockton Public Schools community are very diverse. There's a place for everybody to fit in, a group for everyone, no matter where you are. Maybe you might not have friends, but there will be teachers there for you. And if there aren't teachers there for you, there'll most likely be friends there for you, even if it's your first year here. There will always be somebody there trying to help you out. And that's it.
Marcos, sorry guys. Marcos, would you say that the BPS school system introduced you to cultures that you were not previously known, that you did not previously know of?
Definitely. I feel like there's a lot of different cultures in this school community where it was even this year, I've been introduced to new cultures in the school community, with cultures that have their own clubs. I got introduced to them, so yeah.
All right, thank you. We're going to end the question with Kamori.
Some things I like about BPS is the bonds that I've created and I've cultivated with some of my peers and my teachers. Some of my peers have shown appreciation for my kindness instead of taking it for granted. They remind me to stay positive when negativity arises. We are in high school, so as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot more negativity coming towards you, and they show me, my teachers and my peers have shown me that even when there's negative things happening to you, there's always going to be positives coming towards you. My teachers and the school faculty, the teachers and the staff are amazing. I feel like they actually want me to be an achiever. They not only cultivate and challenge me and my way of thinking, they have taken the time to foster the student and teacher relationship. Lastly, I like the fact that I have met both teachers and peers that have had the ability to put themselves in my shoes of things that have happened to me. and I have personally experienced this firsthand, and it is something that I really admire, and I thank them for that.
Thank you to all of our panelists. And for our next question, and we're going to be asking our panelists about their sense of belonging. The prompt states, tell us about a time when you felt validated for who you are in BPS. When was this, and who were the key people involved? And first, I'm going to ask our friend Caitlin.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I can go back this story through elementary school. Back in elementary school, especially kindergarten, actually to pre-K, I was really silent. Like, you cannot budge me to like talk with teachers and my peers, which becomes really difficult when trying to learn. And of course I want to learn, but I know this disability really affected me in this classroom learning environment, which reached out to both my mom and my dad to go through the IEP, which is basically the individualized educational plan. And going through the disabilities, I had a speech impediment, so I couldn't really talk in a sense to people and to be able to communicate. With the help through like speech therapy and also trying to improve my reading skills, I have the help I needed. I honestly feel very grateful regardless, because if I didn't have the support from all the paraprofessionals, I will bring up some names. I remember Miss Tully and Miss Tucker back in Brookfield Elementary. I forgot the one woman who was in Downey Elementary, but shout out to her as well. And regardless, like without all this help, I wouldn't be where I am standing today in Brockton High School. I wouldn't be the person that I am without all the help that I received. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. And next, we're going to ask Eliana.
One time I felt validated in the BPS district was once in middle school. Was when the pandemic started, and during the pandemic, it was a very hard time for a lot of students. Grades were going down. It wasn't just about the grades; it was also about the well-being and mental health of each individual student. I remember my guidance counselor reaching out to me, making sure I was okay, because she said she noticed that my report cards from middle school through my freshman year were completely different. And she was right. She asked me if I was okay and if there was anything that she could help me with. And at that moment, I felt very, very cared for. And I was very grateful that there's actually people in the district who cares about students enough to check up on them and make sure they're okay.
Thank you so much for those thoughtful answers. And we're going to move on to prompt 4, which is kind of a combo question. And we're going to ask our panelists to reflect on their various social identities and think about a time or a situation in which, because of these identities, they felt undervalued or hurt by an adult. And I'm actually going to start us out for this question and talk about an experience that I had in middle school that actually happens to continue to today. I'm a transgender student. I'm a trans male. I came out when I was 12 years old and in the 7th grade. And for a long time, I didn't feel comfortable enough to use the bathroom that matched my gender identity. When I felt comfortable enough to ask for this, I was mocked. I was ridiculed, to say the least. At least from my perspective, that's what it felt like. And it was a very dehumanizing experience to feel that way, asking something as simple, can I go to the bathroom, where I feel most comfortable going to the bathroom. Fortunately, I was allowed to go to the boys' bathroom. Unfortunately, COVID hit 2 days later, so I didn't really get to do that. And in high school, I thought that I would be able to continue to use the male bathroom, only to come to the realization that I didn't feel safe doing that anymore. I didn't feel as if this was an environment where I would be comfortable going in and doing that. So I, like many other students at this school, have resorted to our gender-neutral bathrooms. But if you've walked around, you would know that we only have 2 of those. And people use those for a variety of reasons, but I would say one of the largest ones is feeling unsafe or uncomfortable or unclean in the main bathrooms. And I just want to say, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I did bring this up last year as well, is I think using the bathroom is a basic human right. and everybody deserves to feel comfortable and safe when they're using the bathroom. And just sitting there waiting for 40 minutes to use the bathroom of one of the two bathrooms that I am able to use is a dehumanizing experience, and one that I think that we should be more comfortable talking about. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm gonna move the question over to Shanti.
So sadly, profiling has been something that many students pass through BHS. Students teachers use profiling students my junior year. A hallway teacher stopped me and asked me for my ID, which I gladly gave it to. To be more specific, she wouldn't tell me what I have done wrong. I had my pass, I had my ID over my neck. She finally decided to speak, and she spoke unprofessionally, telling me I was wandering with a group that I didn't even have no clue who it was. She wouldn't let me explain this fact. She finally let me go to class, and later that week I saw that she put me over wandering and for something else, which I don't remember the name, but it was really alarming. And sadly, I'm not the one who goes through this every day at BHS, which it needs to change.
Thank you for bringing, oh, sorry, I keep doing that. Thank you, Shanti, for bringing up that difficult topic, but I think you really bring a good point, and that is how important it is to have staff and faculty that match the diverse identities of the students that attend Brockton Public Schools. And we're going to move the question over to Amari.
A time I felt I was hurt or undervalued, I would say, was in my middle school 8th grade science class. Science was a really bad subject for me, especially in the 8th grade. And I felt like the teacher, instead of giving us a chance, she just went ahead, especially with the curriculum, because I know that there's a lot of deadlines, but especially when your entire class isn't understanding something, and then for you to go ahead, and then it's like you're ignoring our academic success in the subject that you're supposed to be teaching. So that made me feel like she undermined the fact that we were struggling in her class, and the fact that she didn't care. Thank you.
Thank you. And for our next question, we're going to be asking two panelists to reflect on their social identities, and which of these identities do you feel are valued and understood? We can clearly see that feeling valued and understood in schools is so important for students to have a sense of welcoming and belonging. And I'd like you, the two, to please share with us an example. And first, we're going to ask Marcos.
One of my social identities is that I identify as Cape Verdean. I feel like this identity is valued throughout the school system. There are clubs here at Brockton High. First and foremost, there's the Cape Verdean Club, which is like a place where even if you're not Cape Verdean, you can still go. But especially for Cape Verdeans, it's like a club where you can like engage in your culture, really. And then in middle school, it was also really valued because I remember they would do like nights where you could come in with like food from your culture. And I remember they would do Cape Verdean food nights. It was like every week or once per month. I don't remember exactly. But you would come in with like food, and it would be like many different people would be there, students, teachers, parents. And you would really just try food from different cultures. They would call it like food culture night. I don't remember exactly. I never attended it. And that really made me feel like my identity was valued, and it was like I was cared about back in middle school and even here at high school. But even in elementary, I can't remember exactly for Cape Verdean, but definitely in elementary, they would value our identities. I remember one time one of my elementary teachers came in with food from a Mexican culture, and for the activity that we were doing, we were doing something. It was a history class, a social history class in elementary, and we were doing something on Mexicans and Latin people. And she came in with Mexican food, and that made me feel like people's identities were valued, and they really wanted it to bring identities into our learning environment.
Thank you, Marcos. I'd also like to emphasize that the point you made up regarding food, and I can really resonate with this. I think it's a really good thing that the schools include introducing various cultures through food, so we can get a taste of different cultures, no pun intended, and so that we can understand one another. And it's a really enjoyable way to just see who we're surrounded by and who this district is made up of. And next, we're going to ask Komori.
So this isn't really my personality, my identity, but it's a part of my identity, and that is my personality. I feel like my personality has been most valued throughout my time in BPS, throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school. Of course, by some people, you're not always going to be a lot of people's favorites, but the people that do understand you and are judge-free and don't judge you right away are the people that you know are going to be there for you and back you up. And I'm really thankful for that. And in this generation, you can't really be free without being judged. And that's why I feel like it should change, because the more you judge a person, the less they're gonna come out of their shell, and they're gonna be everyone's different. So you should just make the best of trying to know them, so you can get a taste of how everyone is. That's it for me. Thank you.
I didn't interrupt the clapping this time. So we're going to move on to prompt number 6, which is, what are 2 things the district can do to improve the quality of student-teacher/adult relationships? And we're going to start with Amari over here.
Two things that I think that can be improved is, first, the level of respect both the students and the teachers and staff have for each other. I feel like sometimes the staff or teachers abuse the fact that they do have authority over the students. And the other one is the amount of hostility that both, not only the students, but also the teachers have. I say this because I'm going to speak specifically about Brockton High as of right now. Specifically in the hallway, some of the hall teachers will come towards you with hostile intentions. Sometimes they don't want to be hostile, but it does come off as hostile. You can ask me for my pass, but to yell at me while I'm across the hall, where's my pass, is a little crazy. And another thing I want to say about that is, because they're coming off hostile, the students are automatically going into defense mode, and they're speaking rudely to you or being even more hostile back. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll ask the same question of Eliana.
Something that I think the district should do to improve the relationship between staff, teacher, and student is that I feel like they are putting too much pressure on the teachers, and the teachers are mostly worried about what the student do and not what the student learn and how comfortable they feel in a classroom. I remember this time, I used to be a very shy person, and I just had a teacher. I didn't want to talk. I was a quiet student, and I had a teacher pressuring me in a way to talk and answer questions when I knew what I was doing. I knew the work I had to do, but I just didn't feel comfortable in that environment and speaking out loud with the people around me. So I feel like some teachers, they should be a little bit more patient with the way with students like me.
Thank you, and now I'll ask Chloe.
2 things that the district can do to improve the situation that we're currently in is welcoming people in with with kind intentions, because as what most people would say, like, yes, this is a hostile situation. With most people will think this is like, well, they'll come out. Most people think that the district is hostile, which in some unfortunate cases is true. But that doesn't mean we can let the negativity power through the positivity. We need to focus on the good things, the things that make our community strong. And the second thing is that we need to understand each other's POVs. You don't know what a student is going through when they come home from school. You don't know what a teacher is going through when they come home from school after their job. Both don't know what's going on in each other's lives, and we need to put some respect with each other so we can make people feel welcome in this community. Thank you.
And finally, I will ask Shanti.
My answer is the same as Eliana a little bit. I believe to improve the student and teacher relationship, the district needs to stop putting stress and pressure on the teacher just to uphold the rules. Teachers are spending all the class time telling undisciplined students to take their hoods off, to stop being on the phone, and to listen to the lesson. They need to start putting tougher restriction on those students who don't want to follow those easy rules. Teachers and students who follow the rules do not deserve to be working in this unprofessional environment. That's all.
Thank you so much, and I really agreed with your comment there, Shanti, because while I do not agree with all the rules that have been imposed on the students, I think it's really important if rules are put into place that they are enforced, because otherwise I feel like lack of respect from both the teachers and the students is just going to start to take hold. That's not good. So
Thank you. And for our final question to wrap up this conference, we're going to be asking the panelists, we're going to go all the way around again. What are your final thoughts about how BPS can create a positive, supporting, and inclusive learning environment where all students can feel connected? And I'd also like to add where teachers and staff can feel included as well. So we started this way around the table. Now we're going to start from Caitlin and make our way around.
So after listening to our panelists during this time, I transferred this experience from the EDI summer internship, and then Elizabeth can back me up on this one because she was in the internship as well. I remember we did this social justice circle, which basically is we share our thoughts. And I feel like having this kind of concept, this engaging concept to build the relationships between students and teachers. I know having this is kind of hard because I know there's a lot of things going on. You got assignments, you got deadlines, you got tests coming up. But I feel like you should have something to getting to know the students more. Because having this kind of thing will feel students that their voices feel represented, that they feel safe, that they can feel like they can learn in this environment. Thank you very much.
I feel like BPS can create a more positive, supportive, and inclusive environment by bettering the student and teacher relationships. I feel like teachers especially are feeling very pressured to enforce certain rules upon the students, and I feel like instead of like the teacher focusing on, oh, is my student learning in the classroom? Are they doing this and that? Are they doing like the homework correctly? Do they really understand the homework? Are they ready for the test? I feel like they're really focused on maybe some students where they'll like in BHS, for example, where the student will have their hood on or be on their phone. I feel like a lot of teachers may be concerned on that, which is not their fault really. It's something that has been put on them by like higher ups, I guess you could say. And I feel like that's making the teachers feel pressured to enforce rules on the students, which may not make certain students feel included, may not make certain students feel like they're learning in the classroom. So that'll make it hard for students to feel included. But also certain students can start to like do what they need to be done, what needs to get done. And when they're not doing what needs to get done, the school itself, maybe the principal, the dean, whoever it may be, needs to enforce these rules, because a lot of times they're not enforced on the students, making the classroom like kind of rowdy and all over the place, making certain people not feel included.
Overall, my final thoughts before the panel ends is to consider and validate each other and make people feel like, yes, their voices can be heard, and yes, they're welcome into this environment. Because at first glance, it may seem like some places may feel not at home or not feeling very safe. Like what most of the panelists are saying, like some places they're not feeling like very safe in right now. So considering that, I pretty much bring each other in. Like consider each other's voices, how you feel, each other's identities, and overall just be kind to one another. That's all.
My final thought about BPS in general is that we, the people who represent BPS, are letting all the negativity overpower the positivity at a great extent. We are letting the image of our school mainly become bad. I think we should really be focusing on the good of our school and how we become a better and a stronger community for our future.
My final thoughts on how BPS can create a positive and supportive environment for the students in this district is by first hearing our voices. They claim to listen to us, but to listen to our voices, but I've noticed that they don't even listen to what the teachers have to say. And knowing that, how does it make us feel that, why would they think that sorry. And I've noticed that they don't even listen to what the teachers say. That's what I mean to say. And how does it make us feel, thinking that they listen to ours? If they don't listen to them, they don't listen to us. And I would like to also mention on a time where a staff stopped me and my friend to ask us about what do we think that they should do to better off our schools. Me and my friend, we spoke our heart out, which I'm not gonna go into much detail about it, but we basically said how we feel that they're punishing all the students in whole and not as just individuals from each other. Some students, there are bad students, but there are more good students than bad. And we all feel that like they're taking it out on everybody, and the ones who did the bad things are getting away. So for that, thank you.
My final thoughts, especially to have an inclusive, supportive, and positive environment, is to have less judgment, be patient, and listen to the younger voices around you. Not only do the panelists also have things to say, but there's many people that would love to be up here, or some people that don't know about the program but would love to still speak to the higher ups, or even the teachers that some that don't listen. Another thing I want to say is also to induce the consequences. It's been said by teachers, it's been said by staff, and as far as I can see, that it's not necessarily happening. It's something that's constantly repeated, constantly talked about, yet it's pending. So another thing I also want to say is, I want to say that to be aware, necessarily I mean by where we are Brockton. We are definitely not Springfield. It's a couple others, it's definitely a different. We may be similar, but we are definitely different in more standards than other places. And another thing I want to say is that we're not only speaking to the teachers, we're not only speaking to the staff, We're also speaking to the school committee, the parents, and the students that aren't even here right now, but still may be watching us, because we are speaking for them, but not only us. Thank you.
I believe that creating a positive, supportive, and inclusive learning environment starts as soon as students enter school. And this can only be done through listening, conversation, and compromise, where everyone is prepared to constantly reflect and constantly change because times are constantly changing. We need to treat each other with empathy, respect, and kindness, and to react to each other and treat each other based on those emotions and not based on how we are told we should treat each other or react towards each other. Thank you.
Thank you. My final thoughts about how BPS can create a positive, supportive, inclusive learning environment starts from, and I really want to take from what Matt said, Amari and Eliana, is we need to realize that we are in this together. We are like student panelists, and we're having this conversation, but it's not just us speaking to you guys, it's a whole reflecting process. The teachers are obviously going to reflect, but us as students, we're going to reflect as well, and I feel like that's important. And I also feel like in ways we can improve are by just a sense of understanding. Teachers, staff, and students need to work together, but how? There needs to be a mutual understanding connection between the two. That doesn't mean that we need to know everything about, our personal lives. However, there needs to be respect both ways, and that is obtained through understanding one another. Being respectful despite our differences is very powerful. And that is done by ways, like Marco said, just understanding other people's cultures through maybe food, just allowing people to reflect and be honestly them. And like Caitlin said, during our EDI summer internship, we did a restorative justice circle in which we formed a circle and we were authentically ourselves and we expressed ourselves without judgment so we can understand each other, because as the Brockton High School District, just like Amari said, we're not Springfield. This is Brockton. This is the Brockton Public School District that we're talking about. And we are a diverse community. We are a diverse community, and we make up the Brockton Public Schools District. And we should be able to accept our differences and accept who we are as we make up this district. And also, taking from what the panelists have said, I also believe that there needs to be a reinforcement or arguably of consequences, or arguably there are really no consequences. And just like Eliana said, so many of us good kids suffer, unfortunately, from those consequences that don't even apply to us, and the bad kids get away with it. So I really would love to see change in, lack of consequences. And I hear it not just from the students, but especially teachers. Thank you.
While BPS is still good to me, it's still a community with issues. In my opinion, one of the areas that need most work are the student relations, not just the teachers with students, but the student-on-student contact. The fights, the arguments, the debates, the assumptions. Those are what are truly separating us. It's because of the teachers and the students' little debates, like I stated, but they're having those debates because students on students are always arguing, fighting, and because of that, it creates a bad mood for people. Mainly the students, and then that mood transfers to the staff and teachers as well, because they're the ones that are enduring it, because we don't know how to take out our anger without having it being physical or there being an argument. And as long as these issues are still in the BPS community, there's no way that we could truly fix it, because we can't be a community unless we're not trying to settle with each other, understand each other, and try to talk to each other about our issues and problems. Thank you.
Just to close things out, we want to say that this conversation does not end here, and we hope that everybody goes home thinking about this conversation and talking about it with each other. We are all in this together, and change starts with me, and change starts with you.
Thank you. I just also like to reemphasize thank you all for your time and thank you for listening to us. And I just also want to thank you again because, you know, this is election day. And while you could be out voting, which is very important to some people, you are here and we are all here for a purpose, to hear out one another, to learn and to have an open mind and to learn of ways in which we can improve and create an inclusive environment for all people in the Brockton Public Schools District. And this is a reflecting moment for all of us in which we can achieve change together.
Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that a great panel? Thank you. Let's give it up for them again. Wonderful job. Excellent, excellent. I don't know about you all, but I learn a lot from kids because they just, with no chaser, they just say what they need to say, and we hear you. We hear you. I know we're not great. We're not the best that we need to be. We're getting better, but just hearing from you all causes me to reflect. And so I have some takeaways that I just want to help us reflect on. The last question was, supporting a positive and inclusive learning environment, right? And so that's one of our focus areas as a district, positive relationships. And that goes many ways, peer-to-peer, students to teachers and back and forth. And so that's something that we really need to dig deeper into. So what I took away from what you all said was that we need to focus on the student-teacher relationship because we need to work together. Respect goes both ways. And I know that some of us, older folks, we think that kids, you need to just respect us and that's it. But this generation thinks differently and we have to understand that. Respect is earned. Am I speaking the truth? So I have a teenage daughter, so I speak the language a little bit. And we really need to earn their respect. It's not automatic anymore. It's not. Just because we have gray hairs, it doesn't afford us the respect of our students because we have to earn that with them. They're trying to trust us. They're trying to have a positive relationship with us. But sometimes we hurt them. Sometimes we do let them down. And sometimes we make mistakes and we're too proud to apologize for those mistakes. And so we need to reflect on that. That's a whole we. We need to reflect on that. We need to focus on the way that we approach kids. I understand just from my own experience, yelling from across the room does not work. Change happens at small tables with you and I looking each other in the eye and talking real talk. And so when you want to change a child's behavior, you need to sit down and talk to them like they're people and not somebody who you can't connect with from far away. Is that true? All right. Because that creates hostility, that allows the hostility to stay there. They're trying to understand why you're why you're doing so many things, and it affects the way that they can connect or not connect with you or us as adults. So we need to take time and listen and learn from our kids. We need to be patient with each other. Just as adults, I said we make mistakes. We ask for your patience as well, but we need to be patient because all of us are coming out of a whole different life that we never planned for, and so we need grace for each other as we come out of that. The student-to-student relationships, that's a thing. There's debates that turn into something that it's not supposed to turn into. It sets a tone. It can take away from the learning experience. So how can each of us in our own space support that change as educators? How can we see ahead of time so that the debates don't happen? How can we know our kids so that we know how to de-escalate? so that it doesn't happen. Because again, the learning environment is something that should be held sacred. And I think we've gotten away from that sometimes, and I apologize for that. We need to hold the learning environment sacred and understand that we're all here for a purpose, and our customers are our students and families. We have to remember that. We're working for them to move forward in their life as productive adults, and we have a responsibility to give them our best tools. We've gone to school to acquire tools that we can pass on to them so that they can be tool givers in the future for our next generation. We need to be consistent with the consequences that we say that we'll give. Consistency breeds trust. Is that true? Yes. So when we are not consistent, they learn not to trust us. And what we say means nothing after a while. We also need to understand that everyone shouldn't have to pay for the behavior of a few. So we have to identify those few and be consistent in those consequences, because they also want to feel safe and they want to have fun without all the restrictions. We also have to look at others' points of view and have empathy and understand that you might have a bad day. And so I can't just bark at you when you come into the classroom or into the school building, because you don't know what I've gone through just to get here into this building. You don't know what I've gone through as an adult just to make it into work. Some adults are handling personal issues, and sometimes it spills out into the classroom. And so we have to understand that we're living together in a school building for longer than we are awake at home. Isn't that right? And so if we want to live together in community, we have to understand each other, try to learn more about each other, and create a safe community, because this place needs to be home. We need to focus on the good things that make our community strong. That's the most important. And I want you all, before I call Sharon Walder up, our deputy superintendent, tonight when you're home, reflect on everything that you've learned. Reflect on the things that you wanted to learn and bring that up to us so that we can help. But also reflect on where you are in this conversation. If you're that teacher from Downey, if you're that one who's encouraged someone, that you allowed another student to feel seen, make sure you're that one. But if you're not, we have grace for that, but these kids don't have that much grace. So we'll give grace, right? But they don't have forever to do that. So it's up to us as adults to pivot and make the shifts that we need to make, because these are our customers. I want to introduce to you our Deputy Superintendent, Sharon Walder.
So my comments are brief, and they are thank you. And thank you to everyone who goes into the field of education. It is not an easy thing to do. It is not easy to walk into a school building and to try to educate, inspire, sometimes control behaviors. It is not easy work. And so sometimes critical feedback feels hurtful. It's for growth. And we always expect our students to be better after having an experience with us. We can expect to be better after having these experiences. But there is no other occupation without education. And you have to think about the value of who you are when you walk in these doors every day, welcoming students and trying to resolve problems while at the same time making sure that kids walk away more educated and more prepared for their tomorrow. So to every educator who showed up today, who couldn't be here but needed to be or wanted to be here and wasn't able to, and will be back tomorrow, I say thank you to all of you. And I think that we need to think about ourselves as a community of learners and as a community of educators, regardless of your role in this system, and how pivotal our work is every day to make sure this panel and everyone that they represented have a tomorrow that they deserve. So thank you, get home safely, and we'll see you all tomorrow.